Too many people spend their life trying to mirror others. They try to live up to others' expectations, effectively live the life that they do. And it doesn't work out very well because we're all individuals. We all have unique desires. So it's not always going to correspond beautifully with what someone else seeks. So I recently got a lot of content about this job that I had applied for that I got. I have everybody. I'd made the top three. Then I was selected. And it turned out in the end, it wasn't really for me. The more I processed the thought of this job, it was just realized how chaotic it was. And whilst the wages were fine, it was a good paying job. It was stable. It was a permanent role. It wasn't aligning with me. It wasn't fitting me. But yet I had nothing guaranteed. If I turn that down, then what happens next? What happens if nothing else comes? Like, is that a reckless decision? Perhaps. But all I could comprehend really was, is this going to make me happy or miserable? If it's going to make me miserable, no money in the world's going to make me happy. That's the reality, and I'm aware of that in myself. So I was like, no, there's no other option. I can't do it. I just can't. Now, like I say, there was no guarantee of a positive outcome. I had other things in development, but nothing sort of set. I had a forklift assessment. There's forklift warehouse work. I had a forklift assessment somewhere else, but you're thinking, first of all, you don't know if you're going to pass the assessment. And you're not even sure if you're going to like the place if you get there. So there's no guarantee that outcome works, whether you want to or not want to, So, I've just had that assessment today. So literally, I turned the job down for Monday, which was literally yesterday. And then today we got the forklift assessment, not knowing what's going to happen with that. I literally was up to about 2 a.m, and then I had to get up. It's my own fault. It's my own doing. But I had to be there for 6:45 in the morning. So literally, I've had maybe 3.5 hours sleep, 3 hours sleep. I'll probably look wrecked. I am. And the session there was a lot longer than I thought it would be. But in the end, to sum it up though, before we go too far deviating there, I got the role. So that's worked out quite sweet. It start Monday, so next Monday. So effectively, could have been miserable. Had the balls, the guts to say this isn't working. Now, some people one way or another might think it's reckless. But yet, miraculously, a week later, I'll be starting somewhere else where I will feel comfortable and I will be excited to go to work. So I think that works out. I think that just shows really that things can happen out of nowhere. So yeah, I had to do a forklift assessment, which was the same as a refresher training for that I did before recently. So it's the whole process. You literally points. They take it very serious. They had their own facility there. This place is like a mini city. It was crazy. It was like they've got their own doctor clinic there, so you can have your medicals. They've got their own forklift facility in the corner somewhere, like a training facility area. It's incredible. Like this place this is so far beyond what the other company was, without being rude about that. But this is just levels. And that's what I was saying. I want to work somewhere where it's structured, where they're actually organised and it's efficient, and you can just get on. And that's what this is. So I passed the forklift practical. Then I had the theory, passed the theory. Then we had a medical. So a couple of things come up in medical, blood pressure and things. But maybe there's a few things from that. It's time for me to check. But I passed enough to go through. And then we spoke about shifts because they've got so many. It's so big. They've got so many shifts. It was crazy. So I was like, before I come here, I thought it was like an early shift and then a late shift. I thought, but I said, if you're asking me what I want, I'd rather just start early, finish early. I'd rather just wake up and go to work, That's how I am. I don't like thinking about it too much. Because effectively, you could have a window where you start a bit later, but all you're doing is thinking about the time you start work. Well, I find that really frustrating because it's wasting the time you have available. Whereas if you just start early, you just get up and go. And then when you're at home, you're not thinking about anything else, are you? Because you're clear. So anyway, there was a shift available so the shift I thought was it was going to be mixed. You could literally just do that if you want. That you can actually have that, and you won't have to do the late shift. You can just constantly do that shift if they're interested. It might change later, but at the moment that's available. I was like, yeah, that'd be perfect. Oh, I don't know what happened there. The freaking camera went crazy. I was about to pause it then. But yeah, that worked out quite sweet, didn't it? So then I've got that. Now, my wages might be lower. I'm not exactly sure what the exact wages is at the minute. I'm going to find that out soon because I'm not going to get a shift premium because I'm not working shifts. But then that begs the question, if you was to get £1, £2 more an hour, how much, I always say this, how much of your happiness would you sell? You know, it's fair. Like if someone just working again now. This system's having a hissy fit, and I don't know why. It seems to be related to this video. Something doesn't want it getting said. Um, but yeah, how much of your happiness do you sell? Now, some people they just want money, and I get it. That's what you go to work for. Me, I do it to pay the bills, to be able to have a decent life, a quality of life, but not at the expense of my happiness. So there's balance with me. So effectively, what's what they offered on top of this hour? So like, rather than just start early and finish at this time, I can literally work an extra hour and a half. So like maybe start 15 minutes early, and then finish an hour and 15 minutes later. This was the offer, and you'll get Friday off. So I was like, well, that sounds tempting, doesn't it? I think we'll do that because effectively you still finish at a decent time. You still got the whole evening left, Monday to Thursday. I don't know why my computer's going crazy at the moment. The overloading. How's it overloaded? Saying encoding problem. I just don't get it. Irrelevant, but kind of relevant because like, why is the system doing that? Like, what's trying to stop me speaking? Yeah. So anyway, by just doing a little bit extra, you're freeing up an entire day. Now that day was going to be half day anyway, so that's how it works. It was Monday to Thursday, normal hours, half a day on Friday. But I'm like, we might as well just do the extra hour and half, whatever it works out at, and then we just get a Friday off because it means it's another day I don't have to get up early. Works out, doesn't it? So effectively, I get Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off every week. And I thought that's a win compared to the other job I was doing. That was going to be working 7 till 4 every day. 7 till 4 every day. I think that it's a similar hours I'm going to be working now, actually. No, an hour earlier, I think I've got to start. I can't remember. But either way. And then you get Friday off. That's a no-brainer. And this company's a huge company. I'm not going to give the name out. I'm not going to link the name anywhere because I'm not doing that. But it's a massive company. And the facility I was at, they're building engines. It's very clean. It's very much organized. It's very structured. It's quite incredible, to be totally honest. And that's only one segment of it. It's a massive campus. Literally different gates have different blocks to different buildings, and the buildings themselves are huge. And that's for each area. And I was like, wow, this is cool. This is big. Yeah. So the logistics manager I met, he was impressed with me. He liked me, and he said, yeah, you'll be working for me. And yeah, that shifts. He's the one that offered me that shift where you get that extra day off. And he said, you won't just drive the forklift all the time, though, because we only have so much use for that. He said, we've got some other roles as well we're going to train you up on. And, you know, you'll be an important part of the team. And then we'll rotate the tasks as well. So that was good. So I said to him, I said, that's what I've always said is good, though, like that sort of thing. I said, because, but, you know, first of all, people don't get the bad end of it. If you have a bad task, you're not always doing the boring task. And of course, if someone's not at work, you can cover. And he said, exactly. You know, so the way I was thinking was matching him. Yet the previous job that I'd left like a year and a half ago, they thought I was crazy thinking like that because they were just rigid. And yet this is a more functional business that works. And I'm on the same wavelength as them. So it's kind of like, who was right when you're looking at that? So it's nice. So there'll be new things I haven't even used before. And I've done an awful lot of warehousing. So there'll be other things for me to use. It's a very much a manufacturing place, and you're just supporting the thing. But it's a massive, massive company, worldwide company. So I'm not going to give out names. I'm not sure how much I get paid. I don't suppose it'd be great because, to be honest, I'm not doing shifts, and it is what it is. But again, it's like I could inquire because someone else, for instance, that I was doing my forklift assessment with. He didn't want to get up early, so he's going to do a different shift, but he has to alternate, and one of them's late. And he was told there's a big shift premium for that because you're going to be working nights. And I thought I could have potentially done that, but then I thought, do you really want to destabilize your whole life and be like miserable because you're exhausted and you're just like have some weird pattern to your life just for a little bit extra money? I thought, oh, no, I don't care. I don't care how much more they're getting. You know, if you offered me it, I'd be inquiring because you're curious. Oh, it's gone again. this computer's getting on my nerves. Like, something's just stopping it all the time. I don't normally have this problem. Yeah, but anyway, I'll be curious about it, but it wouldn't be enough for me to, I think, take it because I'm happy with my shift. And there's potential for overtime as well. So if you enjoy going to work, there's overtime. Plus, I've got 3 days off a week. So there's plenty of room there, isn't there, if I want to do any, and there's any available. But really, the whole point of this isn't to brag about a job. It's just a job. It's a job. People have jobs. It's about figuring out what it is you want and setting that goal. And then just being like, determined to have that, don't just settle. That's the main thing. Don't just settle just because the first opportunity comes or this seems too good, because you see that in life where people are damn right miserable because they've sold themselves. They've sold out. It's up to them if they want to sell out, but do you want to sell out? Like, I don't. So I don't care if the next person next to me makes more money than me. I don't care if someone's doing something remarkable, like whatever. I'm in my own lane, minding my own business, and I just want to be happy. So every day I'm just in the pursuit of my happiness. That's it. That's it. Yeah, money helps. Money will allow me holidays. Money will allow me to buy things. It'll deal with these things. I can get them. Maybe it takes me longer to get them. But at least my daily routine is good. How many people really get Friday off? You're off of work. Most people work Monday to Friday. I've always had to do that. To have that. One of the jobs, for instance, the job I left a year and a half ago, I was talking to the lads there. I said, well, wouldn't it be better if we could just work an extra 2 hours or so each day and we get Fridays off? Wouldn't that be really cool? And they were like, yeah, that'd be nice. Because we was already doing overtime anyway. And it's that now I've got an opportunity where that's happening. So, yeah, I just think, when you set your mind on something, it's like really, really just keep fulfilling it. To fulfill your dream, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be big dreams, of course, But yeah, things work out. And it's like, pressure was mounting on me yesterday. Like, I turned that job down and it was like, that was a bit dumb when you've got nothing lined up. But then it's like, yeah, but I'll be that miserable. It doesn't make sense to make myself sad. And then it comes up that it's working out. So that's really cool. So yeah, I'm happy. I start Monday. That's really cool. And they're going to take care of the training. That's what I like. It's ongoing training. And it's for a big, big company. So I thought that's pretty nice. So it starts off, I think it's like a built-in agency. So like you have to accrue the holiday. That's the only negative. So you have to work long enough that you accrue holiday. Whereas if you was to be hired as on a permanent contract directly through the company, you would get all your annual holiday at once, which would be nice. But that's the only real negative. But I don't really care about that. And you can end up becoming permanent later. But either way, I've been told it's a long-term, secure role. This isn't something that they're looking to just replace people all the time. This is somewhere where you'd have good opportunities. And it seems that already, It was a headache getting in. Well, I didn't say headache, but it's been a whole process because we thought he was going to be there for 3 hours. We've been there for like 5.5 hours, I think, in the end. Because we just kept waiting for this medical. But it was quite incredible. They had the whole process. And we was told not everybody passes the forklift test, which I thought was crazy because you have to have a forklift license to get the job with the forklift. But even then, you have to have a test again. And then you have to do the theory test.